However, even before Europe became fully aware of this stigma on society caused by religious terror, some individuals were showing discontent with the erudite arguments based purely on authority. One example was Roger Bacon, a Franciscan friar at Oxford University, who in 1240 was already experimenting with optics and crafting flat and concave lenses. Bacon wrote 3 books, Opus Majus, Opus Minus, and Opus Tertium, in which he described the results of his observations and his thinking. Bacon stated that just logic and observation were not sufficient to describe reality. Experimentation is fundamental. He foresaw a world full of human realizations, such as machines capable of flying and navigating over water with their own means of propulsion. He bound his works and sent them to Rome, requesting support from Pope Clement IV. Arrest this heretic. Arrest this heretic. It is impossible to accept the arguments of these erudite people, who base their opinions solely on their administrative authority and on customs established many years ago. What these gentlemen do in reality is to hide their ignorance behind pompous speeches. Some centuries later, Leonardo da Vinci said, "No discovery made by man can be defined as true unless it is previously demonstrated experimentally. On studying natural phenomena, we need to experiment in various conditions and circumstances until we reach a general rule which applies to all the experiments." And what purpose do these rules serve? They prevent us from deluding ourselves or deluding others with promises of results that will not be achieved. The first known academy was created in Naples, in Italy, between 1560 and 1565 by the experimenter Battista della Porta. The Academia Secretorum Naturae attracted people interested in experimenting as opposed to purely religious explanation. They cultivated the belief that there were natural phenomena that could be observed, experimented, and tested, and that were not tied to the concept of the divine. Some years later, the Academy was closed by the Inquisition. In Florence, the only son of a powerful nobleman, Federico Sezzi, against the wishes of his family,
became fascinated with the idea of experimentalism. He joined Galileo Galilei, and together they created the Accademia dei Lincei.
The objectives of the Academy were recorded in the founding document: freedom of the intellect, love of the truth, confession of ignorance. Reality and not dialectics as the true source of human knowledge. Mathematics and experimentation as the only precepts necessary to know anything in the world. After the death of Federico, the Academy was closed by the Church and was only reopened centuries later. Galileo conducted his experiments in astronomy and physics until he was accused of heresy by the Church and condemned to perpetual house arrest. One of his heresies was to say that the earth revolves around the sun.
This new way of thinking became irreversible and consolidated with Francis Bacon, with the Novum Organum, and René Descartes, with the Discourse on the Method, according to which observation must be substantiated by experiment, as with mathematics, not to trust just the logic, but also to test the idea and demonstrate it. Only in this way can an idea be validated. This new way of thinking credits reason with the capacity to explain rationally natural and social phenomena. Human reason is the light able to clarify. One of its main characteristics was the rejection of injustice and religious intolerance.
Anglican England was not under the direct influence of Rome. In the reign of Charles II, around 1649, freedom of thought was encouraged, permitting the advance of experimentalism until being made official in scientific societies. The first academy to receive official recognition and state financing was the Royal Society in London. Different to the experience of Italian academies, which were persecuted and closed down by religious intolerance, the Royal Society was the first place where these new thinkers could meet and discuss their ideas freely, and furthermore count on the financial support of the King. The Royal Society created the first scientific journal regularly published, the articles in which were first evaluated by the other members of the Academy.
Costuma-se pensar que um método científico foi resultado de um conjunto de homens educados, ilustrados, e sentaram-se, pensaram e chegaram à conclusão que tinha que ser a demonstração, etc. e tal. No meu entender, foi algo muito mais profundo. Foi uma revolta social, está mais para as ciências sociais que para as ciências exatas. Era uma revolta e indignação contra o absolutismo total do dogma imposto pela religião. Não podia mais se pensar nada a não ser aquilo que a igreja decidia. Nada podia ser fora disso, e a igreja definiu o dogma como uma questão inquestionável. Ora, como podia ser uma coisa dessa seita, que uma pessoa chegasse para outra e dizia, você é bruxa. Ah, você é uma bruxa, um bruxo. Tem que demonstrar que é bruxo. Esse cara vai ser forcado, vai ser torturado, vai ser queimado. Como é que você vai demonstrar que o sujeito é bruxo? Tem que ser queimado da fogueira, mas dá uma razão, porque a lógica disso. Não havia lógica para isso. Então surgiu a noção importante da demonstração, que foi a grande adição em relação aos filósofos gregos. Sim, houve uma volta ao pensar filosófico dos gregos, observação e lógica sem passar pelo divino. Mas houve essa grande adição, que era a necessidade de demonstrar tal qual na matemática.